Okay, what's going on, everybody? We are here. We're alive. I was ready. I guess not. We're here. We're alive. I want to thank you all for joining me today, man. If you could all see and hear me clearly, please drop a 1 in the live chat. And then we can get today's stream started. And as usual, as I'm waiting for the ones to come into the live chat, man, if you haven't already, please make sure you hit the like button, because that is the most important thing you can do for me on this channel. What it does, that helps make sure that those who are subscribed to the channel will indeed get their notifications, and it also helps to push this video through the YouTube algorithm as well. Secondly, if you're new to the channel, or maybe you've been ghost watching this channel for quite some time now, please do me a favor and yourself a favor by hitting the subscribe button as well as the bell notification next to the subscribe button, so you can be notified whenever I release a new video. And lastly, please make sure you share this video out on your social media platforms to your family and friends to inform them on this news and information, or in this case, comedy, but inform them on this. And yes, that does help to also give me a slight boost in the YouTube algorithm as well. And with the ones now coming into the chat, we can get the stream started, man. We could get things started, rocking and rolling. Oh yeah, also, I'm sorry. Lastly, make sure you follow me on Telegram at TD Media Group, and follow me on Rumble. I mean, also at TD Media Group. That's extremely important. Follow me on Telegram and on Rumble at TD Media Group. Both the links to my Telegram and Rumble will be in the description box below and pinned in the comment section once this stream ends. And you all see this right here in front of you. Now I promise I'm done. I promise I'm done after this. If you haven't already, man, make sure you subscribe to my clips channel, TD Media Group Clips and Quick Hits. Make sure you subscribe over there. I just dropped the link in the live chat, and it will be in the description box and pinned in the comment section below as well once the stream ends. Now we can get into DL Hughley, okay? Now we can get into DL Hughley. Not too long ago, man, he was begging Kamala Harris for forgiveness, on his radio show. And I want to get into it, man. It's a very short clip. It's only about 3 minutes long, but there was so much foolishness stated within that 3 minutes that DL Hughley was begging Kamala Harris for forgiveness, that it just warrants me unpacking all the foolishness that he's stating in that video. So let's jump into it now. Let's listen to DL Hughley begging Kamala Harris for forgiveness, essentially so he can keep his position of power, within the Democrat black elite club. You get what I'm saying? Because that's what he wants to do. It's all about maintaining that status, position, and privilege. So let's jump into this.
Not in fact lock up.
All right, let's start from the very beginning.
Kamala Harris did not in fact lock up the thousands of people that I said she did. I told that lie, and I have apologized to it. Not only have I apologized, I've said to her, not only am I going to keep apologizing because I think it did that much damage, I am going to do what I can do to make sure you become the 47th. At this time, I said to her when I apologized, I'm going to make sure you get elected. I didn't say re-elected. I said elected.
So let's stop right there. He's apologizing for apparently lying on Kamala Harris's record while she was the AG and DA of California and San Francisco, right? First and foremost, one of the things that they're attempting to do now, that folks are attempting to do and able to spin and rewrite the narrative of Kamala Harris, is the same thing that was done with Joe Biden concerning the crime bill, right? Joe Biden was always blamed for the crime bill, mass incarceration, yada, yada, yada. We all know that, right? He was always took the blame for that. People pointed the finger for him for that. But then when it was time for him to run for president, now all of a sudden, that's when everybody wanted to get hyper technical and say, oh, well, it wasn't the federal government. They weren't catching Fed cases and getting locked up. These were the states that were doing it, and Biden isn't in control of the states, and yada, yada, yada. They were being hyper technical and saying that it was the states and it wasn't because of Biden's crime bill, even though we all know that to be false, right? You're just being hyper technical to skirt around Biden taking responsibility for the crime bill that led to mass incarceration, right? The same thing is happening now with Kamala Harris and the scrutiny that she received over the fact that while she was in control, you can say, right, in California, right, and San Francisco, while she was in power, right, as district attorney and attorney general, on her watch, between 1,500 and 1,900 people were sent to jail, right? Arrested and jailed for petty marijuana crimes, right? And the issue is that after 15 to 1,900 people being sent to jail for petty marijuana crimes under your watch, you then turn around and go to the Breakfast Club, laugh, joke, and lie about smoking that good while listening to Tupac and Biggie in 1986 when you're in college. So that's where all the hoopla around that really lies. It's not so much because of the fact that on her watch, 15 to 1,900 people were locked up for petty marijuana crimes. It's the fact that you then turned around and laughed about smoking marijuana while you were in college, listening to Trey Songz apparently in 1986. You get what I'm saying? That's where the issue lies. No lies are being told about that. These things happen under her watch. But now folks are trying to be hyper technical and say, oh, well, these were different counties that this was happening under. Yes, she might have been the DA and the attorney general, but it was different counties. So in San Francisco County, they only arrested and jailed 45 people, not 1,500. And those 45 people, they weren't all black. And I'm not trying to hear none of that. We're not trying to hear none of that. We all know what time it is. And yes, you will hold the blame and the responsibility for those folks being locked up on your watch, while apparently you were doing the same thing, listening to Lizzo in 1985. So let's carry on, right? Let's carry on with the foolishness of DL Hughley. I'll rewind it back just a little bit. Well, matter of fact, I'll just take it from the top because that was only like 10 seconds in.
Kamala Harris did not, in fact, lock up the thousands of people that I said she did. I told that lie, and I have apologized to it. Not only have I apologized, I've said to her, not only am I going to keep apologizing because I think it did that much damage, I am going to do what I can do to make sure you become the 47th. At this time, I said to her when I apologized, I'm going to make sure you get elected. I didn't say re-elected. I said elected. And now here it is, that opportunity. To me, that is divine.
Oh, my goodness. This opportunity in this moment to elect Kamala Harris, the first Indian biracial woman, as president, is divine. Remember, Ricky Smiley said something very similar. He said, we are blessed to live in this moment where we have already elected a biracial president who was half black, who was half Kenyan, half white. And now it is divine. First, we were blessed, right, to be in this moment, to elect Barack Obama, and now possibly elect Kamala Harris. That's what Ricky Smiley said. We are blessed. And now this moment is divine. This moment is divine. We are in a divine moment by God that we are in position to elect Kamala Harris as president of the United States. We are blessed, and this is a divine moment. Unbelievable. This is how much they're gaslighting Kamala Harris. Apparently, Kamala Harris being nominated as president or being voted in as president of the United States is something that was appointed by God, because we are blessed in this divine moment to be a part of this moment in time and have the opportunity to get her in. Lord have mercy. Let's carry on, please. Let's just carry on.
It's something that's supposed to have happened. If you are the people right now who are that opportunity, to me, that is divine. That is something that's supposed to have happened.
It was something that was supposed to have happened. Okay.
Are the people right now who are misquoting her record, we are not the same. If you believe that her locking people up from weed is worse than a man who says he wants to give dope dealers the death penalty, we are not the same.
Stop it right there. Stop it right there. If you are saying that it is worse that Kamala Harris locked up a couple thousand people for petty marijuana charges, and you think that that's worse than a man saying that he wants to give the death penalty to dope dealers, we are not the same. He's referencing Donald Trump. I believe it was sometime last year, Donald Trump made some sort of statement that basically drug dealers should be given the death penalty. They should be sent on, put on death row. If I'm being completely honest with you, I don't necessarily disagree with that. I don't necessarily disagree with that. Sidebar, many years ago, when I used to be a 1 hour photo technician. That's how you know it was a long time ago. When I was a 1 hour photo technician, there used to be this Filipino guy who came through, and he was a Muay Thai instructor from the Philippines. And long story short, I remember me and him conversating once, and him telling me that in the Philippines, the police over there, they just, you're right, dope dealers. They just get them out of there. They'll give you a warning first, but after that warning, they'll just, and that's it. That was how they were getting down at that time, when he was coming up. I don't know if that's how they still get down now, but basically you're not going to sell over here. We all know what it does to the community. And if you get caught selling over here, then, and I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not really against that, what I mean? Like, bro, stop selling. Like, you destroy the community, man. Get out of here, But here's the thing, right? Even outside of that, right? That's a false equivalent, because the issue is that Kamala Harris, under her watch, locked up 1,500 to 1,900 folks for marijuana charges, and then laughed about smoking marijuana while listening to Kanye West in 1986, right? Donald Trump is not a former dope dealer who is now saying he believed that dope dealers should receive the death penalty. Now, if Jay-Z said that, that would be crazy. Like, bro, really? Didn't you used to, do all that stuff back in the day, Hove? I thought you used to do that, didn't you? Now you want to give them the death penalty? That would be crazy. And that would be the equivalent of what Kamala Harris did and the things that she said. But a guy who's never sold dope and who hates what it does to, every respective community when you're getting everybody hooked on dope, him saying that, hey, man, I think that they should be, that's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. But let's carry on, because it gets better. It definitely gets better as we keep moving forward.
You want me to remember her past but not Trump's past? We're not the same. If you want to remind me of her record but don't want to talk about Project 2025, have you ever noticed the same black people that want to tell you she sold all this weed and locked all these people up, tell you they don't believe that?
Wait, Kamala Harris sold weed? One thing you're going to notice is that there's going to be a lot of slurring and misspeaking in this clip. I don't know if DL Hughley is drunk or if that Joe Biden is kicking in. Let's see.
If you want to remind me of her record but don't want to talk about Project 2025, have you ever noticed the same black people that want to tell you she sold all this weed and locked all these people up?
The same people that want to tell me that she sold all this weed. I didn't know Kamala was slanging like that. I didn't know Kamala Harris was selling all this weed. Oh, man, I had no idea. Let's hear that again, and then I'll let it run.
We're not the same. If you want to remind me of her record but don't want to talk about Project 2025, have you ever noticed the same black people that want to tell you she sold all this weed and locked all these people up, tell you they don't believe that 2025 is Trump's plan for a second term?
It's not. Agenda 47 is literally on his website. So stop pushing fake news, misinformation, disinformation. DL Hughley should be deplatformed, demonetized, and should be debanked as well, because you're pushing misinformation, disinformation, fake news. It literally is not his platform. Agenda 47 is his platform. DL Hughley, why are you lying on people's name? Isn't that defamation of character to just lie outright like this? Wow. Look at the misinformation, disinformation. That's amazing. Look at the lies. But it doesn't count, when they do it, But if you just simply disagree with me, I need to be canceled and removed off the face of the earth, But when you tell an outright lie, it's cool. It's cool. But keep going, DL. Another thing, too, like I always state, everybody loves telling you about how scary Project 2025 is without telling you what Project 2025 is. I just find that very interesting. But carry on, DL. Let's go.
There is a reason for that. If you're telling me you're not going to vote for her because she has a white husband, then we're not the same. But if you're going to say she has a white husband, you better have a black wife when you say it. Don't tell me that somebody's Latin or Asian. I think that shouldn't be the predicate anyway. But if you are accusing her marital choices, you better make sure yours are in line with the accusations you make.
This man is drunk. What did he say? You better make sure that yours is in line with the accusations that you make. He's either drunk or the Joe Biden is kicking in, bro. He's either drunk or the Joe Biden is kicking in. Man, hold on, bro. I'm a little concerned for DL Hughley right now. I'm a little concerned.
Or Asian. I think that shouldn't be the predicate anyway. But if you are accusing or Asian, I think that shouldn't be the predicate anyway. But if you are accusing her marital choices, you better make sure yours are in line with the accusations you make. We are not the same if these are, well, she ain't black enough. I tell you what, she's a black woman. She went to Oakland. She's from Oakland. She went to an HBCU. She's an AKA. She had a boyfriend named Willie.
Kamala Harris is black because she went to an HBCU. She's allegedly from Oakland and she has a boyfriend named Willie. Oh my goodness. This is where it gets fun because I'm going to completely dismantle everything that he said just now. It's going to get really fun right now. It's going to get really fun right now. But before that, I do need to take a moment to just acknowledge those who have contributed to the stream because I do appreciate all the, the contributions that I receive for the work that I do here on this channel. It doesn't go unnoticed. I definitely appreciate it. Revelator, the spirit of reverence. I appreciate you, bro. He said the DNC threatened them. So these guys are blessing us with their gaslighting. Yeah, man, they know they better get on board or they're going to lose their position that they have with being within proximity to that level of power. They don't want to lose that. They don't want to lose that. I discussed that with Ricky Smiley. He has all type of pictures and stuff with him and Kamala Harris and him and Joe Biden. He doesn't want to lose his position and status, right, within this country as it pertains to his connection to those in political power. He doesn't want to lose that. That's what this is really all about for these guys. They're looking out for themselves, not for the people, and definitely not for the black community that they call themselves speaking for. Shout out to my man Mike Hughes. He says, I was a photo tech as well, bro. Man, shout out to all the 1 hour photo techs from back in the day, man. We're dating ourselves. I mean, I'm not super old. I'm 39, but I mean, yeah, shout out to the 1 hour photo techs, man. Shout out to the 1 hour photo techs from back in the day, about 15, almost 20 years ago now. My man Untried Genius came through and said only Dems can try to create sympathy for dealers. Exactly. I appreciate you, Untried. Shout out to my man Ronald Shaw. And we got one more after this that we'll get back to the stream. DL Hughley is living proof that common sense isn't common. You're 100% correct on that. And shout out to my man, the graphic gangster, who said cancel down low Hughley. Got to cancel this man. Get him out the paint. Now, I want to take a moment to rewind what he said about Kamala Harris being black because she went to an HBCU and she had a boyfriend named Willie and she's from Oakland. Let's listen to that again, and then we're going to apply his logic to the real world. Okay?
You're going to say she has a white husband. You better have a black wife when you say it. Don't tell me that somebody's Latin or Asian. I think that shouldn't be the predicate anyway. But if you are accusing her marital choices, you better make sure yours are in line with the accusations you make. We are not the same if these are, well, she ain't black enough. I tell you what, she's a black woman. She went to Oakland. She's from Oakland. She went to an HBCU. She's an AKA. She had a boyfriend named Willie.
No, these are the criteria of being black. Being from Oakland, going to an HBCU, and apparently dating black men named Willie. Let me show you guys something very quick, okay? How many of you are in the same age range with me? I'm 39 years old. I was born in 1985. I'm curious how many of you are in the same age range as me. And you were like, you're a hip hop fan. You're a hip hop fan, right? If you were, and especially if you lived in California, you should remember this group here. They were short-lived, but they did have their moment in the sun for a while. This is going to be funny. How many of you guys remember the White Girl Mob? Does anybody remember the White Girl Mob? How many of you remember the White Girl Mob? I'm going to make this full screen real quick. Does anybody remember the white girl mob? The reason I'm bringing up the white girl mob is that, number one, they're from Oakland, right? They're from the Bay Area, I should say. But this girl right here specifically, her name is V Nasty. I'll click on this here, V Nasty. This girl, who was a member of the white girl mob, is partly the reason for why they ended up breaking up, right? Because she had a little issue with constantly saying the N-word in all of her songs that they made and in interviews. She would go N-word crazy, right? And when she was confronted about this by, you can say, the culture, she doubled down on it. She was like, I'm not going to stop saying the N-word. And why was that? I remember even back then, we're talking about 2010, 2011. This was a while ago. Okay. She did an interview where she was outside with like 2-3 other brothers, you know, that were standing behind her. And she was justifying her use of the N-word. And her justification was, I'm born and raised in Oakland. I'm from Oakland. I'm from the hood out here in Oakland. These are my people. These are who I was raised around. And I've been using the N-word my whole life. And these brothers that I grew up with in the Oakland hood have never had an issue with that. So why y'all got an issue with that? And then I remember the brothers that were surrounding her were saying, yeah, if you got an issue with her saying the N-word, you got an issue with me. And, you know, all that, you know, type of stuff. You know what I mean? Now, eventually she would stop saying it, right? But the point is this. She's from Oakland, legitimately raised in a black neighborhood, right? She's from the hood and pretty much only dated black guys probably until she got famous. By DL Hughley's logic, V Nasty is black. By DL Hughley's logic, V Nasty is a black woman, if we're using DL Hughley's logic. Now, she went to an HBCU. Let me make sure this video is on mute. I don't want the music. She went to an HBCU and she pledged to black sorority, you know, AKAs, right? Ski. I mean, okay. If you go to an HBCU and you pledge to a sorority or fraternity or whatever, clearly by default that makes you black. So this woman right here, getting it in, stomping the yard, is a black woman. Look at her do her thing. Let me make this full screen. She getting it in, ain't she? Look at her go. Look at this black woman. She going in. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hey, ski, wee. Look, pinky fingers in the air and everything. Y'all better give it up to her. I better not see none of y'all hating on her in the comment section. I better not see any of you guys hating on her in the comment section. She going in and she's doing her thing. Okay. She's going in and doing her thing. Hold on. Let me rewind it back to when she put the pinky fingers in the air. She did the ski wee. She did the ski wee. Hold on. I see some of y'all hating. Man, don't get blocked hating on this girl. Don't get blocked. Look, pinky fingers in the air right here. 1 up in the air. 2 in the air. She said, ski wee. Listen, man. By DL Hughley's logic, she's black. Okay. By DL Hughley's logic, she's black. And we gotta let her hold that. That's a black woman. She was getting it in, dancing, pinky fingers in the air. HBCU, she an AKA. That's Kamala Harris's sister right there. That's her sorority, you know, sister girl, you know, her AKA ski wee girl. You know what I mean? She's black by DL Hughley's logic. You see, when you start applying this logic to any and everybody, how ridiculous it becomes. The same way it's just as ridiculous for me to say V Nasty is black, and the same way it's just as ridiculous for me to say that this young woman who's doing her thing, though she's not black, the same way it would be ridiculous for me to say that she's black, is just as equally ridiculous to say that an Indian biracial woman is black because she allegedly grew up and lived in Oakland, dated a black guy named Willie and then went to an HBCU and pledged to a black sorority or whatever, a fraternity. It's ridiculous, it's nonsensical, and it doesn't make logical sense, right? But once again, by DL Hughley's logic, these people are black. They're black. Let's carry on. Okay, let's move forward. And just a second. Some of you guys, if you're a subscriber to this channel, you know what happened just now. If you've been here for a long time, you know what just happened. And Rob is still in here. He knows what just happened. He knows why I said and it ran off the screen. So let's get back into it, man. Let's get back into some more of what DL Hughley had to say. And please hit the like button if you haven't already. That's extremely important for this channel growth. If you're watching me on Rumble, do the same thing over there, man. I'm simulcasting on Rumble, TD Media Group. Hit the like button over there if you haven't already. And shout out to everybody watching on Twitter, all 57 of you. Please migrate over to the channel TD Media Group if you haven't already, so you can be part of the lively live chat. All right. And shout out to Tricky Nick. You already know. Charge that computer, TD. Long time subscriber. As soon as I abruptly leave the stream, like, hold on, guys, hold on. You already know. Oh, TD forgot to plug the laptop in. The laptop's about to die on him midstream. Here we go. He about to walk off the screen for about 45 seconds. But let's get back into it, man. There's not much left with DL. Let's get back into DL Hughley.
And she got a name, first name that's hard for everybody to pronounce. It sounds different than it's spelled. That's black enough for me.
Let's take it back a little bit.
Not the same if these are, she ain't black enough. I tell you what, she's a black woman. She went to Oakland. She's from Oakland. She went to an HBCU. She's an AKA. She had a boyfriend named Willie. And she got a name, first name that's hard for everybody to pronounce. It sounds different than it's spelled. That's black enough for me.
This is so ignorant. It's not even funny. This is so wildly ignorant. What he's saying is not even funny. Her first name is hard to say. So since her first name is hard to say, that's black enough for me. Kamala Harris's name is literally an Indian name. So you're telling me by DL Hughley's logic, if you have a foreign name, right, that's native to another country, and that name is hard to say, that automatically makes you black? That means every foreigner in this country, almost all of them, 90% of them, are black because many of them, their names are hard to say. This is literally an Indian. Kamala is a Sanskrit word meaning lotus. It is used as a feminine given name in Indian culture, predominantly by Hindu families, as it is one of the names of the goddess Lakshmi, who appears from the center of the lotus. The masculine counterpart, Kamal, is a given name for Indian boys. Once again, Kamala Harris is an Indian woman, Indian biracial woman raised by her Indian family, her Indian heritage and culture. She even has an Indian name. But apparently, according to DL Hughley's logic, because the name is hard to pronounce, that automatically makes her black. So just about literally I'd say about a good 90% of foreigners in the country, by DL Hughley's logic, is black because you can't say their name. All right, DL, if you say so.
Do know for sure is that she can win if we decide it is so. And if that is not your goal, we are not the same. Your we and my we are not the same. Well, she, everything else. I don't care about none of that. I ain't got time to Terry. What I am trying to do is to.
This man is drunk. He said, I don't got time for none of that. I ain't got time to Terry. You ain't got time to Terry. What does that mean? This is why you drunk?
Are not the same. Well, she, everything else. I don't care about none of that. I ain't got time to Terry. What I am trying to.
That's that Joe Biden kicking in. Either he's drunk or that Joe Biden is hitting him. That old age is kicking in. I ain't got time to Terry. You ain't got time to Terry.
Your goal, we are not the same. Your we and my we are not the same. Well, she, everything else. I don't care about none of that. I ain't got time to Terry. What I am trying to do is to make sure that I make good on something. I wronged this woman. I lied on her and hurt her reputation. And if you're telling me where was she at for 4 years, you idiot. She's the vice president of the United States of America. And the vice presidency is a ceremonial position. It's a ceremonial position. And your job as vice president is to do what the president says.
Let's stop. Oh man, this is easy work. Wow. This is easy work. Being the vice president is not a ceremonial position. Okay. It's not a ceremonial position. Isn't it? It's an extremely serious position. You're literally second in command to the president of the United States. Number one, she also had a job as well. It was not just to simply do what Joe Biden said, like a lap dog, and you just kind of sit around and wait and do nothing, right? She had a job. She had work to do. Kamala Harris was the border czar, and we all know she failed miserably at being the border czar. And before you want to disagree with me and say she's not the border czar, I mean, all of the liberal news outlets said that she was the border czar, and now they're trying to walk it back, So I don't know what you're telling me when you say she wasn't the border czar. She was, and she failed miserably. The migrant crisis is on her.
Border czar. Vice President Harris was not a border czar.
Meantime, Vice President and border czar Kamala Harris facing some backlash.
What he said about Harris and immigration was not true. She was never appointed border czar.
And this will be her first visit to the U.S.-Mexico border region since she was appointed as the border czar by President Biden.
We don't have to keep going. These are all left-wing media outlets that said that she was the border czar. Now they're turning around and saying that she isn't, and it's right-wing propaganda. When they were literally the ones that told you that. They were literally the ones that told us that. This is crazy. But outside of that, once again, he's lying. It's not a ceremonial position, some powerless position. She had multiple jobs and she failed, right? One of her jobs was to be a tiebreaker, to which she didn't necessarily have to follow these things. She had kind of you could say a crisis of consciousness. She could have said, no, I don't want to pass said bills and be a part of it. Because of the inflation that it'll cause, right? And how it'll hurt the country. How much does Biden's $1.9 trillion bill have to do with inflation? That bill being the American Rescue Plan. Well, as it states here, I'm not going to read everything that I have highlighted, but it states in blue, in fact, economists concede that the $1.9 trillion bill did contribute to inflation, though there's some debate about how much. Oh, look at that. Who created all the inflation? Look who created all the high prices that we have to deal with now. And look at who was the tiebreaker in her non-ceremonial position. She was just, doing her job, you can say, but, you are your own autonomous person. You could have said, hey, Joe, I don't know about this one. I don't think I'll be the tiebreaker for this. But she chose to do it anyway because this is the stuff that she agreed with. Let's go to this top right here first. This is from Ballottopia, right? And it states here, tie-breaking votes cast by Kamala Harris in the U.S. Senate. This is not a ceremonial position. This is a very serious position that she holds as vice president. The Senate voted 50-50 on a motion to proceed with debate on American Rescue Plan Act of 2021. Harris broke the tie to affirm the motion. This is so non-ceremonial that in the last 40 plus years as vice president, she has casted the most tie-breaking votes. Okay? Look at this. Look at this. Comparison of tie-breaking votes cast by vice presidents 1981 to 2023. Kamala Harris, as her time as the important role of vice president, casted 33 tie-breaking votes. 33. Mike Pence, only 13. Only 13 to her 33. Does this seem like a ceremonial position to you? Or does this seem like a very serious position as vice president of the United States? Being the vice president of the United States isn't just being some sort of lackey. That is not what that is. And DL Hughley is a dishonest liar. A dishonest liar. Okay? This is a very serious position that she had, and she and Biden failed us at every moment and every step of the way while they were both in office together. Okay? So let's get back into the clip here. And I see the support coming in via Super Chats. I want to thank you guys so much. I'm going to read them off at the end of the stream. This DL Hughley madness is just about finished. It's just about finished. Okay? Let's get back to what he had to say.
Didn't you get a promotion at your job and start talking bad about your boss? See how that works out. You advise anything and you think you would tell the president what to do? It was a ceremonial position. She did what she was supposed to. Being mad at a vice president would be like being mad at the backup quarterback because the quarterback threw an interception.
They love to trivialize everything when it doesn't go in their way.
And you know that to be true. You are saying all these things because whatever you have on your mind, whatever your mindset is, it is not the same as mine. I don't begrudge you for how you feel, but I ain't got time to play with you. My goal is to make right something I did wrong.
I ain't got time to Terry.
It is to make sure I keep my word. And I am going to do all I can to make sure that she becomes a black woman, Asian woman, AIP. I know that she's going to be, I'll tell you what, she's black enough to be called a DEI hire by inferior white men.
There goes that slurring. There goes that Joe Biden again. Either that or he's drunk. I don't care if she black, the Asian, the DIDIP. What is he talking about?
Sure, I keep my word. And I am going to do all I can to make sure that she becomes a black woman, Asian woman, AIP. I know that she's going to be, I'll tell you what, she's black.
How old is DL Hughley, man? How old is him? That Joe Biden hitting hard. That Joe Biden hitting him badly, man. I almost feel a little bad. Either you're going to have to come out and just say you're alcoholic, bro, and you drunk on the job at the radio station, you know, or the Joe Biden hitting you. And it's time for your co-host to take your position, just like Kamala Harris took Biden's position. That woman sitting next to you, that black woman sitting next to you, it's time for her to take your position, brother. It's time for you to step down like Biden did. You need to step aside. You're slurring your words a little bit too much in just 3 minutes of talking. That's crazy work. Either that or you're drunk.
Enough to be called a DEI hire by inferior white men. She's black enough for them to challenge her intellect. She's black enough for them to call her promiscuous and say she slept her way to the top. So if you think that those things matter to you, we are not the same. I'm not going to be what it is you are. And I'm not going to have time to argue with you back and forth on the internet. Because unlike you, I believe I am my sister's keeper.
They are all reading from a script. Did Ricky Smiley say the same thing? I got to go back and re-listen to the Ricky Smiley. I'm not going to do it right now on the stream, but like I could have swore he said the same thing. I am my sister's keeper. They're all reading from their DNC script. That's crazy. They're all repeating and saying the same thing. They're all repeating and saying the same thing. None of these people have minds of their own. And all of these black celebrities that are out here shaming black folks for having the audacity to critique Kamala Harris. And she rightfully should be critiqued. You're running for president of the United States. Why am I not allowed to critique you? They're all shaming us for doing so, but they're doing it in an effort to protect their own status and position within proximity to power. That's the reason that you're seeing all of them lose their minds right now, just completely crashing out over Kamala Harris. They're doing it for themselves. It's not for us. It's 100% for them. Now, let me read off these last super chats before we get up out of here, man. I want to thank you all for supporting me today. I deeply appreciate it. It does not go unnoticed. Please hit that like button if you haven't already, man. That's extremely important. Do that. Don't just listen to me say it and don't do it. Hold me down, man. You liked it. You liked the stream. You've been listening to this for a while now. Hit the like button. Show love. Hit the like button. Shout out to my man, Jacked, who said, thank you for everything that you do in educating the masses. Would you be cool doing an interview on a news channel like Fox? Love your content. I don't know. But if I do, and if Rob is still here, I'm going to have me like a real tight pink polo on, like, you know what I'm saying? Rob knows what I'm talking about. My little polo shirt gonna be real tight. It's gonna be pink. I'm gonna be suffocating like this. If I do, I'm for sure wear the pink polo shirt. It's gonna be real tight on Fox News if I go on Fox News for an interview. But I might. I wouldn't rule that out. Shout out to my man John Sun for becoming a channel member. I appreciate you, bro. Shout out to Performance Chip who said, "Homegirl, yeah, black, no." Let me play this right quick while I'm reading this off, man. Y'all don't hate on her, okay? Don't hate on her. She was getting it in. AKA ski wee. She was getting it all the way in. Shout out to my man Mick 007 for the super stick. I appreciate you, bro. My man KO Kid Fit, also known as Grind and Motivate. What's going on, bro? He said DL sounds like an ignorant bussy. Oh man. Shout out to Law 064 for the love. I appreciate you, Law 064. Shout out to Vic the Villain for coming through again, not ghost watching. Appreciate you, but I appreciate you not ghost watching and actually being a subscriber to the channel. Thank you very much for not doing that, for doing that, not being a ghost watcher. I appreciate you. My man Untried Genius came through. I think again, he said Chinese people are black now. Their names are so difficult. They use pseudonyms. Name be Ji Laing, I think that's hard for me to say, so they must be black, and call herself Jennifer. Their names will be Ji Laing and call themselves Jennifer. Yeah, I mean, they're black. They're all black, according to DL Hughley's logic. They're all black. Shout out to Revelator, the spirit of reverence coming through again. I appreciate you. I think you doubled down. Thank you. You stated it's not a lie. Her horrible record is all true. Hughley is clearly drunk. He must have received a lot of threats from Harris's campaign. I guess that must have set him over the edge. Yeah. A lot of these dudes are receiving and getting a lot of pressure right now, man, and feeling a lot of pressure from the higher ups, we'll say, for lack of better words. They're feeling a lot of pressure. Vice quarterback, shout out to Performance Chip. He said vice quarterback. Shout out to Pete Burley who said keep up the good journalism. I appreciate you, Pete Burley. Shout out to Mick 007. I think, did you run it back, Mick 007? He said the DNC paycheck must be big. Yeah, the paycheck is big. The paycheck must be big. And that proximity in and of itself to power is huge, right? Because then the possibility to be able to level up into other positions is always there. So they want to maintain that proximity to power, man. They don't want to lose it. But yeah, them DNC checks, they must hit pretty nice. They must hit nice. And shout out to my man Law 064 for coming back again and rounding it out. Was the boyfriend named Willie Brown? For your information, DL need that Putin update. Well, that Putin update. His state crashing. Yeah, he stay crashing. He need that update. Y'all see, I got that Putin update. He updated my software. Clearly, they didn't update his software. But anyways, man, I want to thank you all for joining me today, man. I appreciate you. Hit the like button on your way out if you haven't already. And also, once again, for all of you who are here, if you're still watching, please don't forget to follow my Clips channel. Okay, don't forget to follow my Clips channel, TD Media Group, Clips and Quick Hits. I just left the link in the live chat, and I'll make sure that it's pinned in the comment section below, as well as in the description box below once the stream ends. Thank you all for your time, and into the next stream or video. Peace, man. Have a great afternoon. I'll catch you guys later, man. Have a good one. Oh, wait a minute. I think, do we have one more? No, we don't. Okay, I'm out here, man. Peace.